All right, guys, welcome back to PA Wild. Today we are at the Elk County Visitor Center at the Elk Expo. 2022 Elk Expo this year, and we're up here just doing some filming, checking out the event. It's my first year up here. I've lived not too far away. We got Tyler behind the camera today. If he wants to show himself, he can flip that around real quick. But doing a little bit of filming. We're going to go check out some of the events that are going on. There's a band playing, and then this afternoon they're going to be doing the annual elk drawing. And if you heard that on the camera, there's also going to be an elk calling competition, I believe. So I think we're going to stick around for that and check that out too. But let's go check it out. All right, we're here with, what's your name? I didn't catch your name.
No, that's all right. It's Sean Kochi.
Sean, okay. And your business is?
Mill Creek Valley Game Calls.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about like all the calls that you guys make and about your business, how long you've been in business, and just your overall goal here.
I used to work for other game call companies back in the day, and then basically I wanted to do a line of like personal handmade kind of calls. Sometimes the industry can be a little bit where they just do a whole bunch of calls, you know, and I wanted to make more of a personal call to get as close as I could to the real thing. So
Absolutely.
What I did was 14 years ago I started my own company, and at first I got into the mouth calls because that's what I had. I was a competition caller where you go up on stage and you do turkey calling contests and friction calling contests, and then started figuring things out, and was blessed enough to learn from somebody that was a really good diaphragm call maker. And you know, you shadow him for a little bit. Then I was blessed enough to know another guy that was a big competition caller, won the Worlds, the Nationals, and I was able to finally get to the point where, you know, he taught me how to do competition calling, and then he introduced me to some people, and they did pot calls, and went from there. And then a couple years, I'd say about 2 years ago, there was a guy, anybody that's familiar with turkey calls, there was Neil Koss, who was always the famous box call maker. Well, the person that taught him, he taught another person, and then I learned off of that person. So in 35 years, that guy never had anybody in his shop taught him how to build box calls, but he had some, he had a famous box called Woodhaven custom calls. He made the real hen for them.
That's
so
really
I went
cool.
down and studied off of him for 2 years. We thought that he was going to pass because he had stomach cancer, but he overcame the stomach cancer, and I went down and learned how to build box calls off him for a couple weeks. So then I started entering calls and call making contests, and like I said, I don't know how many times I've won the Worlds and National Championships now, but it's just been a blessed run. Competition wise, I probably won 150 call making contests, and I don't even know, in the top 3 probably in the last 100 calling contests. I mean, I got trophies all over, you know what I mean? So
That's really cool. You guys are based out of Pennsylvania.
We're based out of Pennsylvania,
Okay.
yeah, and we do a lot of giving back. We do all the youth field days in the area. A lot of my guys, Gene over here and Rich over here, we teach the youth field days. So what we want to be known for is giving the kids back. One of the other things that we do, like this year, we had Clarion County's youth field day. They had 450 kids. I ended up making 150 box calls, and then we probably gave away another 30 or 40 box calls. So we're constantly trying to give back, becoming partnerships with the Turkeys for Tomorrow, National Turkey Federation. I'm a silver, or not silver, it's what's the next step up? Diamond Life member. So I've given over $10,000. So
That's really cool. It's awesome that you guys are giving back like that in your company, and you're seem to be enjoying some success here.
Yes,
with
we've been
with
here
your
7
brand.
years. So
That's really cool.
People start to know, you know, by coming by the booth and stuff like that. They start to know who you are, and you start to know the people. This is where I started. My uncle passed, unfortunately, a couple weeks ago, and he was the one that really got me into the turkey hunting. He went along with a good friend of his, and we did all the calling competitions way back in the day when I was younger. Had I known, and then I went into the military, and then when I got out of the military, I post-traumatic stress, so I learned how to build the box call. That was my out. So, and then dealing with law enforcement, I was a police officer, and now I'm in corrections. I got 3 years to retire, and then I'll do this full time. So it's really been a blessing to just learn how to do this, and then it sort of takes your mind away from the stresses that you have at work and other things. So,
well, that's really cool that you're able to do all that. People watching, where can they find your products at? You have a website online?
Yep, we have a website, and I'm shortly here. We're trying to find another website provider to be a little bit faster. Over the years, we've gotten a little bit more busier, and you have an original website, so you need to upgrade it. So that's what we're looking for. So any website designers might be out there watching this, get a hold of me. So
right.
Definitely
find this guy.
Definitely
right
need
here.
him. Yeah, definitely give me a phone call. Like I said, my business card's there. They can call me at home. They can call my cell phone. I always got it on me. And
do you have a like a YouTube, Facebook, Instagram page for your business or anything like that?
Yeah, we have a Instagram, and we have like 3 Facebook pages. So we do giveaways. Lately, Facebook with the giveaways has been putting like viruses on people and stuff.
Yeah.
It seems like so.
We've experienced a little bit of that.
Yeah. So unfortunately, but again, yeah, we're out there, and we got everything you want. And like I said, I tried to put out there as much as I could the best calls for your money. On a good-looking call, but a call that sounds good. So.
Awesome. Thanks for doing the interview here.
Hey, no problem.
Guys, make sure to check out these products. Go support this company. It sounds like it's a really awesome company. I'm just getting familiar with it now, but they love to give back to the community and do a lot of good. So make sure to go check them out. Alright guys, so right behind me here is the elk calling contest tent, and they haven't quite started yet, but we're going to come back here in a little bit once they get going and see who's good at elk calling, I guess. I've never ran a bugle tube or the mouthpiece or anything like that, but I apply every year for the Pennsylvania elk drawing, and we're going to come check this out. But first, there's some blacksmithing going on up here through the woods that we're going to go check out. And then there's actually an atlatl throwing event going on as well that we're going to see if we can get involved in that. So let's head up here. So
this is Rudy Troples, and he's out of Hadley, Pennsylvania, out of here at Handy Sandy Lake. And I'm out of Embleton, PA. But I used to teach school up here in St. Mary's for 30 years. And we do what's called period or colonial blacksmithing. We replicate a lot of the devices that were utilized both in home, farm, shop, etc. And so we try to make them out of traditional materials. And we work like we're making an axe. We start off, well, this was a buggy wheel. You can see where the hole for the one bolt was, and what we do traditionally is we weld. That's forge welded. That's not done with any modern material. And then we put a piece of tool steel in there, just like they did in the past. And then, fortunately,
it was about the time when that all got really complicated.
We're members of PABA, Pittsburgh Artists Blacksmiths Association. And anyways, one of the members had this for sale, and I said, well, I got lots of broadaxes. He said, not one like this. And fortunately, they were re-steeling it just like that was done. This was from 1840, so that practice was continued because at the one time steel was incredibly laboriously labor intensive and very expensive. Once the Bessemer process came online, steel making became cheaper and cheaper and more readily available to the common man. But he's got about 25 years experience. I've done it since I was 11, but mostly I do more storytelling than blacksmithing because, well, that labor part always has a, promise to bother me somewhat. And, about this time of day, I got to take a nap, so. But we try to, again, work with traditional materials, and, we make a lot of period stuff. Like here's a flint striker. I mean, if you were the ripe old age of 9, And then living in a colonial cabin or home, why you had to get up and start the morning fire. And so you had this called a fire steel. And when you strike at, if I can get a good edge, make your spark and then catch that and then light your fire. And so we make a lot of those. We sell to the public. He does custom orders. So we travel all over. We'll be at the Kinzu Festival in Russell, PA, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week. And we do shows all over the state. So whoever will put up with us. So that's how it goes.
So what are you burning there to heat up the
Okay, that's
metal?
bituminous coal. It's called nut coal. It's about the size of cracked nuts, and it's bituminous. If you burn anthracite, unfortunately, it won't coke. You want to make coke. Coke is coke has all the what they call the light ends or the volatiles burned out of it, and it has hardly any weight. The purer the carbon you work with, the less chance of contaminating the steel. When you elevate the temperature, the grain boundaries open up and impurities can migrate in. So with coke, you don't have that as long as it's not high sulfur coal or with any phosphorus in it. If you do, it'll go red short. And when you're working a piece, you'll have 2 or 3 hours in, you'll hit it and it breaks right off. That's called red shortening.
What's the piece he's working on right now
He is
over there?
making, what are you making now, Rude?
A hook.
What?
A hook.
Oh, I'm making a hook, okay. We make all kind of, you name it, whatever somebody wants. So, that's
pretty
one
neat.
thing. He was you didn't finish, you burned it up. He was making one of these. That's called a squirrel cooker, and it's a copy from a Civil War piece that a friend of mine didn't make, he bought at a auction in Louisiana. And it was in a guy's haversack. That's a pouch you carry on your side. And he was curious about watching the guy in artillery, and he thought, you know, when you get meat issued to you in a camp, this is a Confederate soldier, they bring a cow in the camp, shoot it, butcher it, and they put it on what's called a gum blanket, which was rubberized canvas. The commander would read your name off a roll call, and he'd take a sword or a ramrod and go back and touch a piece of meat to be fair to the soldiers. And then that way, so he might get a piece of, nice flank steak or something like that, and you'd get a tongue, you know, but it was fair. Well, the trouble is the guys that cook on a stick. Any kid that's ever cooked a hot dog on a stick dries out, burns up, there goes supper. You don't get another piece. Well, this guy saw that. He didn't see this. He saw the worm for cleaning the can, and I said, could you make that smaller and stuff and adapt it with a fork on the end? The guy said, sure. So he knocked that out. Now you put that on a stick, put the meat in the fire. Now you don't lose supper. So it worked out. Plus, fortunately, the guy had some pretty good education. He chronicalized everything, wrote it down. And he put that in the ground, put a candle in, and he wrote home to his parents. And we know more about the American Civil War soldier, both North and South, by the letters that were sent home and those that came back from home. So that is better than the commanders always glorified everything.
Well, that's really cool. You guys doing that, keeping some of this tradition alive.
Yeah, we try to keep
and making some cool products while you're at it. But appreciate
we sell to the public, so.
I appreciate you talking with us
Oh,
today.
hey, thanks.
It's good to meet
seeing
you.
you again. You stay safe. I wish you well.
Atlatl or Atlatl or Atlatl, A-T-L-A-T-L. The handle is gripped like this, and what you'll do is you're going to do a quick flick of the wrist. The dart will be expelled out because the dart rests back here. There's a little hole in the back of the dart. We're going to let it sit in the rest here and then just give a quick flick like fly fishing. Okay, I'm going to give it to you. Right-handed? Okay, so just give it a couple of flicks. Yep, you want to follow through and hold on to the handle, don't let it go. Okay? You're going to grab a dart, you practice flicking. Now he's going to reel him right in. Here's the, I wanted to give you this chance to, you want to try to load it yourself? Okay. And that's exactly how you load it. Always keep the tip down while there's people in front of you. And then when you, let's turn that way. Let's go that way. See how it popped out? So what I do is
Keep it flat.
I keep it flat, or I use one finger to help balance it until I get it up balanced. Bring your finger down, and then you're going to launch it. Okay. I was going to say, and the gentleman on the shirt, is George Miller. George Miller's equipment is who we're using. His equipment, he passed away last year, and his grandson allows the Jefferson County Historical Society to borrow it and bring it to these events. And if you want to come Labor Day weekend, September the 3rd, we will be set up at the Jefferson County Fairgrounds at the Long Gun and Indian Artifact Show. How's that for a plug?
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We got the stick. Currently waiting on the arrows to come back from out in the field.
I hope I was a good explainer.
Very good.
I didn't demo though.
Hoping I don't do that.
You got half of it down.
All right. Explain it, do I?
All right, we're about to be up. Get ready to watch the embarrassment when I miss this target. But we're gonna give Tyler a try on it too and see how he does. He'll probably walk up and smoke that thing right in the heart.
I sure hope so.
Okay. Any last minute tips before we get after it here?
No, we'll just jump in blind.
Okay.
And, you're right-handed, I presume.
I am, yes. So that goes right up in there like that.
Yes.
Rests there.
Right there.
You like go farther back?
I put all your fingers on there.
There.
Draw your arm. Put your left foot out front there.
Okay.
I like to lean my body back. Get
You
the
got to build the muscle memory.
All right.
way and then follow through. Put your arm way back and hold your tip up about 40 degrees.
Okay. Something like that. All right. Well, here we go.
Put your left foot out there. Lean back.
You had your tip real high.
Sent that one over. Definitely, I assume would take some practicing before you were able to
I think.
actually get an animal.
Better than others.
We're getting there. All right, we only got 3 arrows left, so
I slowed him down. You're good.
there we go.
I put that in the bird.
The old leg shot. All right, last one here. Got that one to stick. All right. You want to give it a shot, Tyler? All right, here we go, Chief.
Foot out there in front of you for bow. Put your arm back and lean your body back.
Oh, that's somebody. Good one.
It's already a natural.
I think so. I hope so. If not, another 3 throws.
Yeah, I drove my first 3 into the dirt.
That was a shorter dart too. So.
All right, guys, thanks for watching the video today. We got a bunch of cool footage. Got to talk to some really neat people, and got this sweet elk behind me here, this full body mount. But make sure in future years, if you haven't been up to the Elk Expo in Elk County, to come check it out and get some food off these vendors and check out all the neat crafts and stuff that they got going on. And I didn't expect this today, but there's a lot of like super informational stuff going on here as well. So it's been quite the day. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. We're gonna go get something to eat now.